You know the usual advice, right? Take the stairs, park further away. But what if walking, the one thing we all tend to dismiss, is actually one of the most powerful things you can do to completely change your brain and your body? Today, we are going way beyond just counting steps. We're going to look at the real science that proves this simple habit is a seriously powerful health tool. And this is how most of us think about it, isn't it? Walking is the backup plan. It's what you do when you can't get to the gym for a real workout. But that whole idea, it totally misses the incredible chain reaction of good things that happen inside your body with every single step you take.
See, this is where we need to flip the script. A daily walk isn't just about burning a few calories. Think of it as a signal, a clear, consistent signal that you send to your body every single day. And that signal tells it to rewire your brain, reset your metabolism, and literally rebuild your body from the inside out. So let's break down exactly how it does that.
All right, first up, let's talk about your brain. Because the effects here are, and I'm not exaggerating, absolutely mind-blowing. We're not just talking about feeling better. We're talking about physically changing the actual structure and function of your mind.
This is just incredible. Get this. One major study took a group of older adults and had them walk for just 40 minutes 3 times a week. After a year, the memory center of their brains, the hippocampus, had actually grown. That means walking didn't just slow down brain aging, it literally helped rebuild critical brain tissue. It's like turning back the clock on your brain.
So how in the world does that happen? Well, walking boosts a special protein called BDNF. The best way to think about BDNF is like Miracle-Gro, but for your brain. It's basically fertilizer. It helps your existing brain cells thrive, and it encourages new ones to grow, which is directly tied to a sharper memory and clearer thinking.
Have you ever been stuck on a problem, gone for a walk, and suddenly the solution just pops into your head? Yeah, that is not a coincidence. A Stanford study found that people's creative output skyrocketed by 60% while they were walking. It happens because the movement gets more blood flowing to your brain, and it activates this thing called the default mode network. Just think of it as your brain's idea connecting mode. Walking lets your mind wander and connect the dots in new ways.
And look at this comparison. It's perfect. When you're stressed, it's like your body's alarm system is just blaring 24/7, flooding you with the stress hormone cortisol. But the simple, rhythmic motion of walking, it's like a switch that turns that alarm off. It activates your body's calm and recovery system and chemically tells you, hey, we're safe. It brings your whole system back into balance.
Okay, so we've seen how walking can literally rewire your brain. Now, let's look at how it resets your metabolism. I want you to think of your body as this really complex, really smart piece of machinery. Well, walking is like the master control switch for how that machinery uses and stores fuel.
A short walk right after you eat is one of the most powerful health hacks there is. And here's why. You eat a meal, and sugar starts to enter your bloodstream. But if you start walking, your big leg muscles immediately start contracting, and they pull that sugar right out of your blood to use for fuel, and they don't even need much insulin to do it. This is why some studies show that 3 15-minute walks after meals can actually be better for your blood sugar than one single 45-minute walk. You're tackling those sugar spikes in real time. You know that feeling when you're tired and you reach for a cup of coffee? Well, that's just borrowed energy. Walking builds real, sustainable energy. It actually signals the tiny power plants in your cells, your mitochondria, to get more efficient and even to make more of themselves. The result is this calm, steady energy that lasts, not some jittery high that leads to a crash.
And all these amazing metabolic improvements create this protective shield around your vital organs. For your liver, walking helps it process fats better, fighting off the buildup that leads to fatty liver disease. For your kidneys, it lowers 2 of the biggest threats, high blood pressure and high blood sugar. And it's simple mechanics for digestion, it just helps keep things moving along smoothly.
So we've covered the mind, we've covered the metabolism, now let's talk about the hardware. We're going to look at how walking literally rebuilds the physical structure of your body, strengthening your foundation for the long haul.
A 35% lower risk of a heart attack. Just let that number sink in for a second. This isn't from some small study, it's from the massive Nurses' Health Study. It's solid proof that you don't have to be a marathon runner to protect your heart. Consistent, brisk walking does the job by improving your blood pressure and cholesterol, all without putting massive stress on your system.
So many people think, oh, walking is bad for my knees. But the exact opposite is true. Here's why. The cartilage in your joints doesn't have a direct blood supply. It gets all its nutrients from the fluid that squishes around when you move. So walking is literally lubricating and feeding your joints. It's sitting still that causes them to break down.
Look, as we get older, we all naturally start to lose a bit of muscle. It's a thing called sarcopenia, and it's what can make people feel frail. A daily walk is one of the best ways to fight back. It helps you hold on to that lean muscle, especially in your legs, and this is so important. It keeps the communication line between your brain and your muscles sharp. That's what's key for good balance and preventing falls down the line.
And really, all of this, it's all pointing to one big goal: improving our health span. It's not just about lifespan, how many years you live. It's about how many of those years you live well, with independence, energy, and a sharp mind. Walking isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Okay, so we've seen all these incredible benefits. The why is pretty clear, but what about the how? How do we actually unlock all this good stuff? Well, it's not about punishing yourself with brutal workouts. The secret is much, much simpler, and it's the key to everything.
If you take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this: your body is a brilliant adaptation machine. It learns from what you do over and over. A crazy hard workout you do once in a blue moon, that's just noise. It's a shock. But a daily walk, that is a clear, powerful signal that tells your body, hey, we need to get better at this, and it responds by improving everything.
This chart just makes it so obvious. One big workout a week sends one signal, but 6 short walks, that's 6 different signals you're sending your body to adapt and improve. It's the consistency that tells your body, this is who we are now. We are people who move. And that's when these small changes start to stack up and create real, lasting transformation. And here's some really good news. You can forget about that intimidating 10,000 step number that gets thrown around. A huge, very credible study found that the biggest longevity benefits from walking actually level off right around 7,500 steps a day. That is so much more achievable and less stressful for most people, right? So here it is, your simple, totally doable plan. First, just get a baseline. See how much you're walking now, with zero judgment. Then the next week, just add one 10 to 15-minute walk into your day. That's it. Gradually work your way toward that 7,500 step sweet spot. And for pace, just walk fast enough that you can still talk, but you probably couldn't sing a song. It's that simple. You can absolutely do this.
So, let's stop thinking about walking as exercise light and start seeing it for what it truly is. It's foundational. It is a powerful language that your body understands perfectly. Over time, all those small, repeated signals add up to life-changing results. Your body is always listening, just waiting for your instructions. So the only question is, what signal are you going to send it today?